are now joined by UFC middleweight Darren Stewart, and we'll take our first set of questions from Gabriel Gonzalez with Stateside Press.
Hey Darren, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing well. So, you've had a couple of fights in the COVID era now. What's something you've learned to bring with you to deal with all the hotel room time that you didn't bring in the beginning?
what have I learned to bring with me to deal with it? Strong mentality, because this shit here can break you.
I guess, how does the practice, having gone through it a few times, help in terms of crafting a new fight week routine in this kind of new era we've been living in?
Yeah, it does help because you've been through it already. First time I started, it's first time here now doing it, and yeah, it makes sense to get used to it. You know what's coming. The first time I didn't know what was coming.
With all of the increased lockdowns in the UK, I mean, how's the travel in terms of getting back? Do you have to do a lot of long quarantines before you're able to leave, come back, etc.?
When you get back, I think you quarantine for 2 weeks, from what I remember. Unless it's always, it's always changing. Government's always changing something. But normally when you get back, it's like 2 weeks to quarantine. In terms of the travel, yeah, travel is headache. Every minute, wear your mask, wear your mask, wear your mask. If you're sleeping, they'll tap you and say, put on your mask. Like, it's crazy.
Just to turn the focus finally, just your thoughts on Eryk Anders as an opponent and what he brings.
Good opponent, brings a fight. I like to bring a fight as well, which is what you're meant to do in this game, is fight, no run.
Looking forward to it, Darren, and best of luck. Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll take our next set of questions from Jordan Ellis with Locate MMA.
Hey Darren, I just want to get your thoughts on 2020. Obviously, despite everything, you were able to stay pretty busy, mixed set of results. Looking back now, how do you feel about it?
Depends what part of the year you're talking about. How am I looking at it? Um, yeah, for my first submission win the UFC, great. Then the split decision with the Kevin, a bit of a headache. You know what I mean? So it's ups and downs in 2020.
And you just mentioned it then, that split decision with Kevin and Holland, does that sting a bit, considering he's gone on and he was many people's fighter of the year, and you might have thought that you might have nicked that one?
Yeah, it does sting a bit. It's like, because like I said before to someone yesterday, we ain't got, the lockdown is different in the UK. You know what I mean? Um, there's a couple gyms that's open we can use because under the guideline, professional fighters can use it, but still, it's not the same. So more time, I'm not in the gym. I'm out on the road training. I'm out in the park training. Then you got to make weight and do that for about 8 to 10 weeks, and then you got to go on a flight for like 10 hours, and then come in. It's lockdown, and it's just all of that work you put in to go back home thinking you're the winner and you're not. It's draining. You wake up sometimes and think, oh mate, again. Not the first time it's happened to me. Do you know what I mean? And it's long. I'm not saying, I don't know how it is for the guys here, but we got to travel and all of that work you put in. Not much facilities as it is back home because of the whole lockdown stuff. To get that kind of result, it's like, I thought I'd done enough, man. Maybe I got to do more. You know what I mean? So, and that fight was fun as well. Do you know what I mean? When you're having fun and you're enjoying yourself, you're thinking, yeah, like, this is good. Your hand don't get raised. It's like, oh, mate, like, it's horrible. I'd rather you knock me out than thinking you won and your hand don't get raised. People, only fighters understand when I say that. I told my missus that. She's like, well, no, I don't get knocked out. I have my hand not raised. I said, no, you understand. Trust me. Horrible feeling.
And Eryk Anders, he was on earlier and he said he's expecting a 3-round war, a fight of the night. What are you expecting from this fight? How do you avoid that type of decision happening to yourself again?
Just do more work. Do more work, do the best I can. And yeah, it's all about getting the bonus, man. That's what I'm on now. Big fight, big scrap, I mean, you're supposed to come here and fight. It's not no running business, you know what I mean? So he's looking at that fight tonight. I'm looking at that fight tonight. Get the money for the family. Do you know what I mean? That's what I'm on.
Okay, good luck with it, mate. Look forward to watching.
Cool, man.
We'll take our next set of questions from Gavin Porter with UFC.com.
So one of the things that Eryk said when he was on the call earlier was that his previous losses at middleweight were guys point fight. You feel like that's kind of been similar in your career, guys have point fighted you just
Point fight in which way? Do you mean hit and run, or do you mean like, oh, they're holding me against the cage, I'm losing on points?
Both of them.
Yeah, yeah. Answer your question. Correct.
And so then he said the thing that excites him most about this particular fight is he doesn't expect that out of you. He knows what kind of fighter you are. You bring the fight. Is that also what excites you most about this matchup? Is the type of fighter he is?
Yeah, man. Well, I like to scrap, man. Like, you knock me, I knock you out. All these points. There's too many rules in the MMA game. Do you know what I mean? Too many rules, and someone can hold you against the cage, and they're not doing F all, but you're losing because your back's on the cage, or they can put you on the floor and you're not doing nothing to you, but your back's on the floor, so you're losing. So in the judges' eyes, they're controlling you. Too many rules, man. Just go and fight, bruv. Yeah, you hit me, I hit you. You know what I mean? We just keep going at it. You know what I'm saying? And then someone's got a drop, or even if you keep going at it and it goes to decision, whatever. Let's say, for example, worst case scenario, at least you're going at it. You know what I mean? Go get the bonus. Go get the bonus. Go get your money. All this point scoring shit, man. It's long. You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong. Fight's a fight. Like, there's gonna be times where you swing and you might back a bit, and you might, it's part of the fight game. But in terms of hit and run and just holding you there, yeah, it's long. I come to fight. I don't come to play MMA. I'm not here to play MMA. I've done the MMA thing, and yeah, I've won. And people will say, yeah, win's a win. I was never happy. You know what I mean? I didn't get to UFC playing MMA. You get me? UFC brought me on. They like me because I come to fight. No matter what, like I will dig deep, like like deep waters. No one likes deep waters. I love it in the deep waters. No, like you're banging. Oh, he caught me. I caught him. Crowd's going wild. No crowd, but yeah, I'm trying to say, like, I'm all about that. You know what I mean? Than hit and run, and it's long, or hold you against the cage. Yeah, it's long.
When you and your team have studied Eryk and what he does well, and when he brings to the octagon, what about his skill set?
He likes to fight. No one likes to fight. That's what makes me dangerous. What makes him dangerous. No one likes to fight. So.
Last question is, in terms of matchups, coming off of your last fight, does that make you more hungry knowing that last result and how it kind of went versus coming into this fight and maybe
Definitely makes me more hungry. Definitely makes me more hungry. You know what I mean? At the same time, you got to control it, though. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, I'm still professional. Can't go in there monkey swinging. You know what I mean? But definitely makes me more hungry. Because I've had enough now, man. I was just saying to the previous guy that I just spoke to before you go through that camp, 8 to 10 weeks, not much to work with at home. Like, I ain't got an industry at home. You know what I mean? And you're out on the road, you're doing stuff in the park, and then you're doing it for 8 to 10 weeks, and then you come here and it's just full lockdown, and you can't go use like proper saunas. You have to use portable sauna, infrared. We know infrared takes longer to make weight, and it's like all of that to put your heart out, thinking you won and you didn't. Yeah, it stings. So it does make me more hungry. But to be fair, I've always been hungry. You see how I fight. You know what I mean? I like to take risks. So I've always been hungry. But yeah, maybe a bit more hungry. You can always get a bit more hungry, like I'm feeling now. Thank you.
That's all we have for you today, Darren. Thank you.